Y'all, there were multiple comments last video saying that I was a little too hard on Ben Simmons. A couple people reached out to Nets Republic personally, and I was given a stern talking to, and I have been a little critical of Ben Simmons' performance as of late, and I understand that there's a lot of people who support him because he does a lot of the intangibles that don't show up on the box score. So I would like to take some time in the beginning of this video to apologize to absolutely nobody. He's a bum! I know you don't want to hear it. He's a bum! He's a bum! My God, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are incredible. To be able to play 4-on-5 the entire night is stupendous. And Jacques Vaughn tried to save Ben Simmons tonight. Jacques Vaughn tried to save that man by having him out there the whole fourth quarter to try and prove me wrong. Like, oh, look, he is playable. Oh, he is playable. If it wasn't for Kyrie going nuclear in the fourth quarter again, Ben Simmons would have been exposed for the 5 millionth time. And if you think that just because we won a close game, I'm not going to slander Ben, you're watching the wrong channel, my G. You're watching the wrong channel, Duke. He is a bum. I mean, I'm talking, there are literal times where I'm just asking myself, what is he doing? That one play where he gives up his dribble at the free throw line of the other side of the court because he's so ready to give the ball up in crunch time. I mean, what a God! I'm so sick of him. Times where Kevin Durant is not going to be able to save us because we have spammed ISO KD so much, and that's no shot on Jacques Vaughn. I'm strictly talking about the fact that this man has played every game but one, so he's going to get tired. He can't be perfect every night. Not every 30-point game is going to be efficient, so there's going to be times where he's a little trash here and there, but it's Kevin Durant, and he's doing the best he can with absolutely limited options out there. I mean, God, tonight was so sloppy. This was such a sloppy victory, and Royce O'Neal, you're so lucky you hit that shot at the end because I was about to light him ablaze. I let last game go because it was just one game and it was a freak accident. But tonight was he trying to sell us off. But I'm going to let it go because Royce O'Neal played great defense and he hit a bonkers three. I mean, Jesus, that was such a bomb from the three-point arc. Shout out to that man. But Benjamin Simmons. Kyrie doesn't really turn it on until the fourth quarter nowadays because he's just Captain Clutch, and he waits until the very end to put on his 2017 Isaiah Thomas rendition, if you will, to be the king of the fourth. So we're watching KD just clank shot after shot after shot, and Kyrie's just kind of out there doing his thing like, is it offense time yet? And we're like, no, save it for the fourth. And he makes a couple cuts, and he's like, is it offense time yet? And we're like, no, save it for the fourth. So it's just Kevin Durant clanking jumpers, no one else really contributing offensively, and Ben Simmons just standing in the corner like, oh, good job, KD. You have to contribute, you bum. And again, I understand he sets screens and he has the cool passes, but I'm telling you, most of it is from the curation of Jacques Vaughn. When you have those plays where Ben Simmons has the ball around the three-point arc, and of course no one is guarding him, when Kyrie cuts behind him, you're using his anti-gravity to get the man up, because again, there's no one guarding Ben Simmons at the three-point arc. So when Kyrie cuts behind him, of course Kai's going to be wide open, and all Ben has to do is just pass the ball backwards to an open Kyrie Irving for 3. That's not the genius of Ben Simmons. That's him using his trash to our advantage. That's just general anti-gravity spacing. That's more happenstance than him actually planning something out and orchestrating it. If we're really serious about taking advantage of what looks like our final championship window, Because again, if we have nights like this, which, I mean, we'll get into the win and we'll get into what it means and we'll get into all the overall shenanigans, but I'm talking just from the standpoint of Ben Simmons. I'm telling you, we need someone who can run the team and is an offensive threat. And that is not that big of an ask. That's not asking that much for you to at least be a threat offensively. I don't mean he's got to go out there and shoot threes. I'm not saying he's got to go out there and be Seth Curry. Give me a Seth Curry. Did I say Steph? He doesn't have to be a Steph Curry. Give me a Seth Curry at least. He has to at least be an option. He has to at least have a pulse on that side of the ball. Because when Kevin Durant has moments where he can't hit a shot, and again, Kyrie just seems to save the heroics for the fourth quarter. I don't know if it's a strategic thing, like a Shaq and Kobe thing, like, oh, I'll take over here and then you close it out. I'm not really sure, because Kyrie will look like a just complete trash in the beginning of games. But then when that fourth quarter comes around, he just dips into a different mentality. I think it's actually insulting saying he goes to Karis LeVert offensive land, because the places he goes is Kobe-esque. I don't know where he's digging exactly, where he's getting these performances from. Maybe it's just the Hotep spiritual Egyptian energy. I don't know what it is. Did he actually crack the matrix? Did he find a 2 somewhere in there with the zeros and the ones? I don't know where he's getting it from, but it's stupendous. But it only happens in the fourth quarter. So during the course of the game, it's basically just Kevin Durant. And God help us if everyone else is in foul trouble or not able to get to their shots. When Watanabe's not doing his thing. When Royce O'Neal can't hit a bucket until we really need him. When Joe Harris can't do anything. When Seth Curry's getting clamped up, even though he did have that one really cool big body layup. We need someone out there who's going to contribute. And on nights where, for some reason, Sumner doesn't play, and if he did, I must have just missed it. When Cam Thomas can't get in the game, there has to be someone else out there that's going to have a pulse. And yeah, TJ Warren is cool, but I'm talking about someone who's controlling the pace, who's not only distributing the ball, but is able to be a threat. The defense is not going to close in on Ben Simmons if, number one, he's not even going to attempt to drive into the paint to kick it out. But if he's not going to do anything when he gets there, how many times did he drive in on a point guard only to brick the layup? Are we watching Odyssey Sims or are we watching Ben Simmons? But I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. I'll stick to my normal regimen of when they win, I'll lay off of it. All I'm trying to say is if we're serious about this championship here, something's got to be done about Ben. Something has got to be done about that man. Either you trade him for some real pieces, which, I mean, I know it would. I get the chemistry of the team is very strong. I understand that. I feel you on that. Patty Mills is his emotional support animal that would break their bond. I totally get that. They defend Ben Simmons. They love Ben Simmons. They love what he does. He's an instrumental part of Jacques Vaughn's offense. I understand that, which is why I won't be heartbroken if we keep him. I just feel like from the standpoint of someone that doesn't have an emotional attachment to any of these players, I'm looking at someone not pulling their weight. And I feel like the only possible way that we get to the point where we're serious, because again, we're going to get to some points about this game where it's like it shouldn't have been that hard. And with a completely healthy roster, everyone should be able to contribute. We have enough talent on this team to where the game shouldn't be this hard. And I guess I'll go ahead and skip to the point where like 5 minutes into the video, oh my God, it's Russell Crowe. We went out there and we did this, all this spectacle, all this shenanigans against a team that didn't have Zion, against a team that didn't have the other dude whose name I can't remember, Brandon Ingram. That's 2 of their dudes. That's all-star level dudes. All they had out there was Jose Avocado or whoever that dude's name is that doesn't like Chris Paul, which that's not a specific description at all, but you know the guy I'm talking about. That dude that Doris Burke keeps calling Patrick Beverly-esque or whatever. They got that guy. And they got CJ McCollum. But outside of that, it's a bunch of bums I've never heard of. Shouldn't have been that hard. I don't care what position they have in the Western Conference. When I called this a measuring stick game, I was expecting them dudes from opening night to be out there. But that wasn't even the case. So imagine if they did play and Kyrie Irving didn't turn it on until the fourth quarter and Kevin Durant had the inefficient night that he did and everyone else basically didn't contribute offensively outside of TJ Warren and Claxton. And we'll get to Claxton in a second. I know he's the title of the video. We'll get to it. Ben Simmons has got to do something. He has got to do something. And again, that's something that he's advertised to do is to get other people involved and get people easier shots so they can get in and make an impact. If his job, if his value comes from making other people better, then do your job and make other people better. Not just pass the ball to Kyrie when he's wide open off of a cut. That takes no skill whatsoever. My guy, I can do that. Like, wow, you pass to an open Kyrie Irving who's on fire in the fourth quarter. Give him a gold star. I'm talking about when it's just him out there with the rest of the role players. His job, his value is to go out there and make other people better. Do whatever playmaking shenanigans, witchcraft you have to do to get other people involved in the game offensively. Because me asking him to be a factor on offense with him scoring points is clearly asking too much. That's just not who he is, and I guess I need to get over that. But then do your job. And God, on the defensive end, wake up! Dudes is doing the cha-cha slide over to the rim, and he's doing nothing about it. Why play him at center if he's going to get bodied? And guess who Valanciunas? That's not even Embiid. That's not even Jokic. That's Valanciunas. If I'm saying his name wrong, I don't care. Like, what does he do then? If he can't get other people involved when it matters, outside of our two mega stars, then what's his value? If we can't switch him and have him play defense on some Draymond Green small ball, then what is he out there for? What does he do? I don't get it. And if they're serious, then improve upon this. You want to know who's stepping up and doing his job? And I have no complaints of whatsoever. The Defensive Player of the Year, Nicholas Claxton. Claxton is playing out of his mind. You want to talk about someone doing their job, getting the blocky blocks? Getting the big time rebounds? Dunking over little people in the paint like you're supposed to do? Ben! That's someone who's doing their job and being rewarded with all-star selections. Individuals watching this video, go vote for Nick Claxton for the all-star game, as he should. Claxton's playing out of this world. That is an individual that is doing his job. Playing the good perimeter defense. Being an intimidator all over the floor, getting down and dirty, not afraid if it's going to be a jump ball. You're getting in Jada Smith entanglements, trying to get the ball from the other team on the 50-50 balls. I love it. I love it. Mans is out there doing his job, not being a waste of space. There's times where he's bringing the ball down the court and initiating the offense. I mean, God, if he can do that, then what do we need Ben for? Like Claxton run point. Does a good enough job. Does the same thing Ben's supposed to be doing. And I mean, Claxton has just been on another planet. We finally rewarded him with some clutch time minutes. It was nice to see that. And yeah, foul trouble wasn't an issue tonight, so that might have played a factor. But I loved everything I saw. I love the hustle. I love the energy. I love that he's not out there getting bullied. I love that if someone's going to bump into him, he's not going to do the, hey, watch out there, fella. That's a horrible Australian accent. I can do a lot of accents. I can't do the Australian one, but that's perfectly fine. You know what I'm talking about. Ben Simmons is getting brushed up upon by the other team, and the only thing he can do is like slightly lay his hand on someone's wrist and say, hey, watch out, Slugger. Like, get out of here, bro. Claxton is an enforcer. Claxton ain't nothing to be fooled around with. Claxton is that guy. Lucky to have him. Lucky to have him. The other day, during the win streak, when we didn't have that much to talk about, we had the discussion of has he surpassed Jared Allen? I don't think there's any question of it. Now, I know it was heated. Just had to start a little controversy to make it through. But I don't think there is any discussion whatsoever. Claxton is 1,000% that guy. Like, taking the nostalgia lenses off, how good has he been? Couldn't ask for anything more. We got it for a sweet deal, too. Like, we're going to have to pay the man eventually. But, like, speaking of paying folks, if we're going to give all this money to, like, Ben Simmons, like, again, if we ship him away and that money can be allocated to different things, like pay Claxton, give Kyrie his max or something like that. You know what I mean? Allocate the funds to people who are doing their job. But anyway, back to the game. It was a back and forth affair. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was a back and forth affair. In the first half, I ain't gonna lie, I thought we were just gonna lose, and I was prepared to make this an entirely different type of video, but you know, they're gonna get away with it. That's perfectly fine. And while I will definitely sum this up as a dub, because it was a nasty performance against a dwindled team, if you will, a team that was not all the way there, a classic example of Russell Crowe, I will take it because the Nets showed that even on national TV with the world watching, when they got punched in their mouth, they came all the way back, sealed the deal, got the lead, held on to it, and walked off the court with their chest held high and their chin in the air. This is the type of stuff we need to see from them, even if it's against inferior talent. And you know, with the amount of games that Zion misses anyway, with the amount of games that Brandon Ingram misses anyway, I happen to think personally that we can indeed call this a measuring stick game and say, you know what? Can't nobody mess with us. Because if they are the second seed in the Western third, but if they are basically a game out of the best record in the Western Conference with half of their team not even playing, then that means we win against some elite people. I don't know much about the Pelicans. I don't care. I really don't pay attention to the Western Conference like that. But if they are as high up in the seedings as they appear to be, and we were able to knock them out with a game where not everyone was really playing at their best except for Claxton and Kyrie in the fourth, I gotta say, as far as the measuring tape goes, I don't know who's stopping us, y'all. I don't know who's stopping us. The only thing I'm genuinely concerned about is Ben Simmons. I really think we need a legitimate playmaker who's going to do their job. If your job is playmaking and playing defense, you need to at least do that. And if Ben Simmons was doing that, I wouldn't be concerned. Again, everybody wants to talk about there's so much more to basketball than how much you score and all that. I totally understand that. Again, I defended Elfrid Payton for 2 years on the internet. Like, I totally understand it. I get it. But you have to be able to do the things that you're at least saying that you do, and Ben Simmons doesn't do anything. Passing the ball to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving is not what I would call great playmaking. That's just having an IQ higher than a goldfish. Like, yeah, not duh. Give the best player the ball and get out the way. I'm talking about the times where it's just Ben Simmons out there by himself with the role players. If he's so much of a playmaker, we don't get down by so much and find ourselves tweeting in the second quarter, where's Kevin Durant? He should be able to take a healthy rest, and Ben Simmons should be able to figure it out. Even the times when he's out there with Kyrie and it's like the beginning of the second quarter and Kevin Durant is getting his rest. Something as simple as give Kai the ball and get out the way, or set a screen to get him open and then give him the little, you feel me? You feel the little pocket pass joint, you know, the you feel me? The little pocket pass joint. He should be able to do that. But no, it just turns into Operation, well, we'll just wait till KD gets back and he'll figure it out. Shouldn't be like that. Shouldn't be like that if you're an alleged playmaker. That's my only reserve. That's my only concern. It's not other teams. I'm worried about Ben Simmons. We're going to go against a team at some point during this stretch of games where we're going to need more than Kyrie being a god and more than Kevin Durant being the best player in the league. We're going to need more than their offensive output and Kevin Durant being the general MVP and the best player in the world. We're going to need more than that. We can't just rely on two people and just expect everything's going to be fine. We're going to go against a team like the Celtics that have an overall team effort of dudes everywhere at every position that's going to be a threat. And it's not just going to be enough for Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving to go off offensively. You're going to need other people to get involved. And if we have a defensive playmaker, he's got to do defensive stuff and playmaking stuff. It's not going to be enough. If we're talking about a championship, I'm not concerned about the Eastern Conference, except for the Celtics, but it is what it is. We'll be fine. We'll figure it out. But assuming that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are good enough to just be great enough to get us past the Celtics, and who knows, maybe there'll be some type of matchup where someone like the Sixers will knock out the Celtics and then we never have to see them. So I'm not concerned about one team. I'm talking about when we get to the finals against whoever comes out of there. If they're at peak health, we're going to need more than just the offensive brilliance of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. And the motor behind that is Ben Simmons. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. But shout out to Claxton. Really, really, shout out to Claxton. I should have discussed him a little bit more in this video, but that is my concern. That is my takeaway from these games. I think it's a great win. It's good for the camaraderie and all that good stuff. You know, you lose a game and then you get back to the winning streak. That's great. I'm not putting the hat back on until they get to a 5-game win streak, because that is a proper streak. You get to 5, I'm putting the hat back on. But until then, they're just regular videos. But I just want to make it clear that if there is anything I'm concerned about, it's strictly Ben Simmons. You fix the Ben Simmons, and there are multiple ways to fix the Ben Simmons problem. I won't go into it right now because this video is long enough. But you address the Ben Simmons thing, I have no further complaints. But let me know your thoughts on the game down below. I am Sever the Bond. This is Nets Republic. I implore you to find another Nets channel that is as entertaining as this. You won't. You won't do it. Ain't nobody putting in this type of effort but me. You're welcome.